Welcome into another edition of For Your Health, the podcast brought to you by Roane General Hospital. I am Andrew Miller, your host, and always happy to have human interest stories. We've talked to a lot of professionals. We continue to talk to doctors, nurses, dietitians, health experts, all manner of human beings. But the ones I really enjoy are the human interest stories of people who are in the Prescription for Your Health program or people who are just going through health journeys and getting healthy and getting well and starting to live their best lives. We are joined by one of those people here today. Very happy to be joined by Barry Keogh-Dwyer. I had to make sure I got that right before we came on the podcast. Barry is a member of the Prescription for Your Health program. Got a very interesting story to tell today, and I'm excited to dig into it. He's already served as a source of motivation for many others in this program through his own health and wellness journey. He's been consistent, which is number one. With consistency, Barry made major changes in his health, and he is now in a maintenance stage, which is the stage we all want to get to with many of his goals. As a member of Prescription for Your Health, he's taken advantage of diabetes education, individualized and group medical fitness, and a more recently food medicine program, which is very nice to have. Barry's got a background as a truck driver, and he shares a very pleasant and positive attitude towards conversations. Couldn't be happier to have a conversation with you, Barry. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
I imagine as a truck driver in your, I guess, previous life, or you're just a retired truck driver, you're on the road a lot. You're seated a lot. Not a lot of movement. Although it's a good job to have, it probably provides some stumbling blocks for being healthy. Would I be correct in saying that?
Yes. Yeah. The schedule that you have to keep, the miles that you make are more important than your eating to be healthy. Okay, and also a lot of the food that you're offered at truck stops or wherever is a little on the greasy side. It's not the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you were a truck driver. Let's talk about. I want you to introduce yourself to people who may not know you, may not know who you are until they see your face on this podcast. Tell us about yourself and tell us about what's important to you now in your life.
Okay. I started driving about 1969, and I went to had my own truck and hauled some produce with it. And as time went on, I decided I wanted to specialize. Money's better.
Yeah.
Things like that. So I became a mover with North American Van Lines. I was there for 23 years, and it was a really good experience. I was somebody's hero for a little while.
Exactly.
Okay? And I tried, always had good luck with, no claims, Everything was good.
Everybody got their stuff, and it was not broken.
That's right. And because of that, one year I finished number one in the whole fleet and got to spend a week in Hawaii.
Really?
Yep.
Man.
And then 9/11 came, and that was kind of the end of the moving business. And so I hauled cars then, and then I hauled brand new office furniture. And 5 million miles later, here I am.
5 million miles.
That's right. That's 10 times to the moon and back.
So that's a way to put it into perspective. 10 times to the moon and back. And when you started truck driving, did you anticipate that?
No, I didn't, because I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
And the thing that I am equally proud of is that I did that without a moving violation.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Because there's a lot of restrictions. There's a lot of things that you have to follow rules with.
Your logbook, keeping the truck safe, inspections, everything.
Dealing with other people on the road.
Yes, yep. I don't know why they bother putting turn signals in cars anymore.
Are you happy to since be retired from that now?
I am, because I realize that everything has a time limit,
Mm-hmm.
and the industry was changing quite a bit, and it started to be aggravating to me, and you'd pull into a place to get fuel, and you'd sit there because there was a truck in front of you. So I would get out and walk up to see what's going on, and there's a guy eating a sandwich. He could have pulled up,
Could have moved a little bit,
and
right?
let me, yeah. But the attitude was me first. The heck with you.
Whereas when you started this, everybody had a CB handle and everybody was working in tandem.
That's right.
So you have a great and successful career, and then you move into the next stage of life. How did Prescription for Your Health come into the fold? As you mentioned, as a truck driver, it doesn't necessarily always lend itself to the best dietary habits. It's a job that you're seated for a long time. So you obviously have things that are now important in your life that you want to live a good life. Mm-hmm. And so where did you find yourself physically struggling as you went through here, and where did you find this Prescription for Your Health program?
I knew I had to change. I weighed a little over 300 pounds, and my knees were hurting, my ankles were hurting. If I had to do something, I found myself out of breath. So besides that, I'd like to live to 85. After that, it's not up to me.
Everything else is a plus.
That's right. And so I asked around, and I found out there was a gym here, and it was free. And so I joined the thing, and I started working out for about a year, and came down into the 280s. And then I got introduced to Vicki, who was a dietitian, and she helped me out there with my food.
Yeah.
Okay, eating the right things. And I don't like to call it a diet because it really isn't. And now I weigh about 251, and I've been holding it there, and no more swollen ankles. Mm-hmm. I feel really good.
Well, let's talk about this wellness journey. You said you started coming to the gym. When did you start coming? How long have you been a member here and a member of this Prescription for Your Health program?
I think I've been coming here about 3.5 years.
Wonderful.
Yep.
And so in 3.5 years, you have dropped down significant weight-wise. You've, as you said, kept it down. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about the eating portion of this, the nutrition portion. I like that you said, I don't want to call it a diet. And I think there's a reason people are fearful of diets. You think of quick fixes. You think of fads. You think of, I am restricting myself so much. Just eating well, eating better is the type of diet you're eating. So I like you're saying, I just eating better, eating nutritious foods. And it's very important to have a nutritionist on staff here and working with you on. Do you feel like you just didn't know enough about it, or did you just need that kick in the rear to start eating the healthier stuff?
My mom was an RN. Okay, so from childhood, we kind of ate well. protein, carbs, dairy, and so on. And so that always kind of remained with me for a while. I would eat a big breakfast because I never knew when I was going to eat again. And if I did eat, say about 3 o'clock, I'd have a salad, but still, once I got up to that 300 mark, I stayed there. And so, it was just time to do something about it.
And so you did. Let's talk about the reason nutrition comes into the mix here is I want to talk about how diabetes has impacted your life. And when you talk about diabetes and you talk about nutrition, it is amplified significantly when it comes to the types of things to eat, when you have to have food, all sorts of things that go around diabetes itself. So how has that impacted your life and working through that issue?
It was actually pretty simple. I go to the doctor every 6 months, Dr. Parkins. And I went to him, and I was maybe like 308, and my A1C was 7.2. And he told me, he said, "You're pre-diabetic." And he was going to start me on this and that. And I said, "Wait a minute, let me try to get the weight." That's the whole thing. If I can get the weight down, then my pancreas can keep up and naturally get rid of the sugar. So that's what I did. I just got smart.
I was going to say, was it a scary thing when he said you're pre-diabetic, you better get it together?
It was, because I know people that are diabetic and they struggle with eating at certain times, weighing their food, certain types of stuff, and I know with diabetes comes other problems. So that frightened me. So I just said, "Look, it's time, kiddo.
Yeah.
I've got to do something."
Well, as I talk to numerous people about health journeys, everybody seems to have that, whether you want to call it aha moment, whether you want to call it rock bottom, if you want to say that, or just that moment that puts you over the hump of this needs to happen now. And everybody's got one of those. And so yours was that realization that, okay, if I want to live to 85, I better get my stuff together and find it out. And so 3.5 years you've been in the gym and in the Prescription for Your Health program. I'm not sure when you started that, but what has been your experience with this Prescription for Your Health program?
It's all been positive. You're able to move better. I can walk uphill, and I get to the top of the hill, and I surprise myself. It's I'm not breathing hard, and it's just once you get in the groove, everything seems to turn to the positive side. When I went back 6 months after I started working out at the gym and just started eating right, I had lost about 20 pounds, and Dr. Parkins wanted to know how I had done it, and I told him I started smoking. So he was serious for a second. Then
Appetite
he
suppressant.
Yeah. But anyway, it's all you have to do is make up your mind, and there's things that happen along the way. There's temptations that come along, but if you can just stay, and even importantly, weigh yourself once a week, and you see the pounds start to come off, then, it's like the turn of a page. Okay, I'm on my way.
Well, obviously, it's been a positive thing for you, but still, the day to day, week to week, month to month consistency. I know that I've found over the many years of me trying to get healthy, and I know many other people struggle with that consistency motivation wise. Now, motivation is always great in the first 2-3 months. It's easy to be motivated the first 2 or 3 months. It's 3 years down the line. Motivation isn't so much what comes into factor. It's just as you said, being consistent, getting in there. One of the things that you have done is you have dug into all that is offered here. So when you started at the gym, I want you to take me through what your normal week would have been like. And I hear through the grapevine now you're heavy into some of these classes and things. So talk about that change of how you're staying consistent with activity.
It's just it's like a way of life. Okay, you just you see results, and you just it just becomes second nature. Okay, I work in the gym 3 days a week, and 2 days a week I walk at home.
Okay.
And now sometimes before, sometimes after, I do aerobics, and then I take a stretching class, and recently the Tai Chi. And those things seem to support what I'm doing in the gym.
Yeah.
I used to focus on building my strength. Well, I'm not doing that so much anymore. I'm just maintaining.
Yeah. You're maintaining your strength, and then on top of that, you're building a more balanced approach.
And the brain.
Talk about that. Talk about that portion of it. That's the thing that people don't think about often is what it's doing for your mental clarity and your brain.
When you exercise, it's a challenge. Okay, I make it a challenge, and to do better than I did the last time. And that's really the whole thing. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I looked at it when I was driving. You know, I accepted a load. I had so many days to get there. And so, you know, I planned where I was going to stop, where I was going to buy fuel, where I was going to sleep. And I just planned the whole thing in my head and did it. And
it was like an itemized.
I was successful. So kind of I'm doing the same thing here.
You consider it a challenge.
Yes.
Is that how you view, like, generally life, things that you're doing, that you consider these things a challenge to be overcome?
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I like that.
Yep. Even at home, I have used to be a farm, but it grew up on me while I was out on the road. And I just if I have to make a fence, if I have to pour concrete, you know, it's kind of a challenge to do it right. And then you know, when it's done, I feel satisfied.
And you succeed at those things.
Yeah.
Well, what gives you the motivation? Do you know what gives you the motivation? Other than you said, I want to live to 85, and then after that, everything's a bonus.
Yeah.
Where does the motivation come from, and how do you sustain it?
I really don't know. I think it's just the way I am.
The way you're hardwired.
Yes, the way I'm wired. Sometimes a person will come to me and say, you know, just like you did, how do you do that? You know, and I just explain that once again, it's a challenge. It's something to do. You know, one thing that I fall back on long ago in the 70s, there was a singing group called Devo,
Yes.
and they sang a song called Whip It Good. And they actually told you how to go about whipping a problem.
Yes.
Okay, and I always kind of remember that.
Out on the road listening to Devo.
Yeah.
Let's. I'm going to get into the trees. I warned you, Barry. I may get into the trees. Go off topic a little bit. I'm not off topic. So, as you said, the lifestyle of truck driving doesn't always lend itself to be conducive to a proper diet, and sometimes it's just the times you can eat, and it doesn't lend itself to being able to stay incredibly physically active. You know, you're in a seat for a long time. Can you take me back to you as a youth, you as a high school student, you in your 20s and 30s, all that stuff? Were you physically active back then? Were you athletic? What was your childhood and your youth and your upbringing like? Were you physically active? All those things. Did it just kind of come up into your work life that you started to gain that weight and have to work back from that?
I think so. I think as a kid, I had a lot of responsibilities, chores, and it was just a lifestyle.
You're saying you didn't get an allowance for doing things. It was just what you did.
I did. I didn't get one weekly, but my dad and mom kind of kept track so that when I needed something, if it wasn't too much, I could buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd earned it.
That's right. My dad. I was raised in New Jersey, and a lot of people figure, oh my gosh, the factories and the smell. Well, we lived on the northwest side of New Jersey, and our county, Sussex County, had more cows than people. That's hard to believe, but
People didn't know there's a different side of New Jersey.
Right, that's right. And my dad owned 1,000 acres.
Oh, wow.
And so with that amount of land, I mean, there were no four-wheelers in those days. You walked or drove the Jeep. And maybe I had to do something a mile away, and then come back. And, it was just kind of a big responsibility. Then my sisters decided to get ponies and horses, and I got stuck taking care of them. But we just, I don't know, maybe it was like a business. We all had our job to do.
And with that, just automatically came exercise and movement.
That's right.
So it wasn't something that you had to actively think about going and doing. You didn't have to go to a gym to do.
Right.
You just were active and you just were working, and that's part of it. And then you find yourself in a job that is kind of the constant movement and physicality and things. Well, I mean, there's physicality involved in that, but so this stage of your life was kind of like a new thing for you to get back into, to get into a gym and get yourself active in a way that was different than as you were growing up. But obviously it's worked for you, and obviously you've been motivated enough to stick with it, and the numbers are good for you just on the scale. The numbers are good for you in dropping A1C levels. The numbers have been good for you. Did you ever think, though, that just doing this would be motivation and inspiration for other people you interact?
Not at all. I wasn't aware that people were paying attention to my size going down, and my strength coming back. I'm kind of not vain. I don't think about those things, and sometimes we would talk with other people, and they would ask me a lot of the same questions you're asking me, and I don't know whether I influenced them or not, but they're in the gym now too.
Mm-hmm. And I think about that. You weren't expecting. That's not something that was even in your mind.
That's right.
Oh, I want to be motivational.
No.
But now that you have been in this for as long as you've been in this, and being able to interact with other people, you've obviously had to accept the fact that you are a source of motivation, inspiration for people. That doesn't seem to come. It's not as if you're required to do anything with that. It shouldn't stress you at all to be that. But does it make you feel good, even though it's not something you really intended? Does it make you feel good to be able to talk with other people and see that inspiration and motivation work in their lives?
It surprises me more than making me feel good. It just, I don't look at the guy and say, "Wow, he's pressing 250 pounds now." I'm happy for him that he's doing it. And okay, maybe I helped him a little bit, but he carried the ball.
Have you found a sense of community in this gym group, or have you found people socially that you interact with that have made it worthwhile on top of what you're doing for your own health?
In the gym a little bit, because everyone's there, everyone's concentrating on what they're doing. But the classes, the aerobics and stuff, it blows my mind to see people 70 to maybe 85 years old doing the things that we have to do. And the other day, I stopped everybody and I did give a little speech. I said, you guys are not senior citizens. You're super seniors. Yeah. And to see older people, I don't like that word. I like seasoned.
Yeah.
Seasoned people doing ropes and lifting things and stepping up on things. And it's just, you do that for 40 seconds, and you have 10 seconds to go to the next thing. And you have to do maybe 15 different exercises. And it's just really something. And that kind of unifies everybody.
Yeah. Do you find, I just keep picking your brain about motivation and things like that. Do you find that you have mentally changed your thought process as to what you consider the best quality of life that you can live now?
Yeah. I'm trying to find the right word. I was your typical, I was strong, male. There were certain things I considered milk toasty, certain foods I didn't want anything to do with, and I've changed. That is not a healthy way to be, mentally or physically. And that was part of my change, part of my evolving. Yeah. And I still think about those things once in a while, but everything changes in this world.
Yeah.
Nothing stays the same, and it was just my time to do something.
Well, you've obviously done a great job with this. I wish you the best of luck in continuing this wonderful journey that you continue to be on. I hope the goals and aspirations you have just continue to be attained. I'll give you the plus sign after 85. How about that?
Okay.
I want to have you put on your motivational hat again, even though you weren't a reluctant motivational person. If you had any words of advice or wisdom that you could give somebody interested in improving their health and wellness at whatever age and whatever stage they are, what would you tell somebody?
I would just say to them, if you want something, if you want to get big and strong, if you want to lose weight, if you want to eat better, all you have to do is channel yourself in a certain direction, and all the other things come along with it, and stick to it. And before you know it, you've given up the pastries, the sweets. I'm a Splenda man now. I don't use sugar at all anymore. I watch my salt. I just there are certain things I have substituted, and to me, Splenda is sweet as sugar.
It's splendid.
Yeah,
Splenda is splendid.
yeah. So
get started on it.
that's right. That's all you have to do is get focus, get channeled, and just start.
And I think that not only you, but I've sat across the table from many people who have been involved in the wellness center, in the weight part of it, in the class part of it, and what they have found is if you get involved, you wouldn't even know that part of the help that you're getting is being across from somebody else at whatever stage and age they are and going through things together with them. The social aspect of it, getting involved and finding that you're not alone in the journey that you're taking, and finding that you may not even know you're an inspirational source for other people as you are.
That's probably true. Every time I go to a class, the camaraderie, the feeling like your family. Okay, you're doing a job. You're getting better. You're getting stronger. You're losing a little weight. We're all focused in that same area, and it's kind of a neat thing.
Well, Barry Keogh-Dwyer, 5 million miles in a truck. You're now on a journey of 1 million more in your health journey. A reluctant inspiration was what I will call you, Barry. Thank you for joining us. It's been a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
Another episode of For Your Health Podcast in the books, folks. Join us next Friday for another episode.